Howdy y'all, McGlax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Oof. Alright. So I am nearly out of fuel again. Again. Yeah, my inventory is pretty empty. My bike is... Did I get this thing emptied out last time? Yes, the bike is empty. I'm got 25% gas. Right, you can't open your map while you're on the bike. So, I wanted to head back. Here. Okay, so I need to go south through one city and then west. So I'm definitely. Ooh, let's stop. Make sure I've got a wrench. Okay. Because I'm gonna need to get gas on the way. That's for sure. Yes. Oh man, tonight is gonna be interesting. We are back to D&D tonight, if I have my days correct. And you know, why does your guy not look straight ahead? We've had a rough go the last couple weeks here, or last couple sessions. With the segment we're on, we basically dove headfirst into an occupied city, and have been trying to oust, probably through death, the queen and the king and the slavers who have taken over the city. And woo, why is that doggy chasing me? Not anymore, doggy. Because I have my gun back. But, yeah, I was actually, I'm in the process of editing episodes from 2 sessions ago. I don't actually need this stuff. Dang it, it landed right, you know what, I suppose I'll keep this hide. I could use hide. I don't think I need any of it, though. Uh, yeah, I was editing the episodes from 2 sessions ago, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Although mostly it boils down to I, uh, we came up with this plan, and I still think it was a good plan. It did not go well, but I still think it was a good plan. It just wasn't implemented very well. I need... Yeah, here you are. How's my gas? 17, alright. And, so... Wait. That looks like it's going... Yeah, I need the other road? Come on, crazy bike. We need to go this way. So we came up with a way to sneak in to the castle because they're having a party, like a, you know, black tie event. So we talked to this guy who's claims to be part of the rebellion. I guess we didn't actually get any confirmation of that, but he claims to be part of the rebellion against these slavers, and he gave us floor plans for the castle. And he actually went with us as well. Um, and so we snuck into the castle, and we worked our way up to. It was early morning. It was like 10 a.m. and we kind of scouted the rooms downstairs, um, dressed as servants and slaves, and the we didn't see her. Uh, and so we went upstairs in the castle. It's only 2 floors apparently, and so we went upstairs, and um, the we knew, the general layout of the place. We knew where most of the rooms were, and so we went into the queen's bedroom, which is where that guy wanted us to be to spring a trap on her. And so we got in there, and uh, you see that branch on that pine tree there? I thought it was a bird sitting on the branch for a second. But so we sprung a trap. Well, we sprung a few traps in the process of getting into her room, but one of them was an alarm trap. And so when we came out of the room, she was waiting for us with like 50 orcs. And so yeah, it didn't go well. And we tried to fight our way through 50 orcs, and this is where the plan fell apart. Um, and so we mostly it's because I can't ever decide how the people in the group are going to react to things. And not that I necessarily react the same way every time, but if there's going to be a fight, you're pretty certain that my guy's willing to go toe to toe with whatever's there. I'm pretty certain that the druid slash cleric is going to, throw heals and get up close and, try and keep people alive. What they're supposed to do. And, oh, shoot, I kinda... Nope, nope, I need to follow this road to the next city and then go south. And so, they're pretty stable. We've got the new bard. He's not really that new to the team now. He's been playing with us for a little bit. But it's pretty understandable what he's going to do. He's a big fan of, like, Stink Cloud and stuff like that. And so, he locks down the bad guys pretty good. And, but then you got the other 2 people on the team, and they are just all over the place with how they play. And, you're facing off against 50 people, well, closer to 60 people probably. It's hard to decide what to do when when the people you're with don't react the same way every time. And I don't mean like little changes like, oh, well, this time I like to throw a fireball. Well, that time I want to throw a lightning storm. Not like those changes, but like, so the time before this, when we fought a large group of people, uh, the the um, the wizard throws a sleet storm, which they did in this fight as well, which makes the ground difficult terrain, which makes it harder for them to walk. Or actually, I don't think he threw a sleet storm. He threw an ice storm this time, which does damage. Either way, it's about what I expected. The druid tries to do something that hits all the bad guys we're facing. The bard gets up there, throws his, standard stink cloud, which incapacitates all the people that get affected by it, and throws some AoE damage, which hits everybody in the area, Basically what I expect from those 2 guys. Well, the time before, our wizard, who references himself as the Great Wizard, which is ridiculous. Like he refers to his character while his character is speaking in the third person. You know, and I don't mean like my character says. I mean like the Great Wizard would prefer that we, during a conversation that's supposed to be in first person. And so he we face off against these orcs. Like, these are orcs again, but the last time we faced off against a huge group of orcs, he threw fireballs. Well, okay. He threw fireballs for part of the fight, and then he switched to not throwing fireballs because I don't know why. I probably should have stopped and got gas out of those cars right there. I'm going to stop at this one. And so we get in this fight. Huge swaths of orcs. I mean, it was, like I said, it was close to 60 bad guys. Most of them were orcs. And he goes crazy. That's all I can figure. He goes for single target spells. We're fighting 60 people. He's a wizard. He's got all these AoE spells that affect massive amounts of people. He goes for single target spells on one of the bad guys. And the one that irritated me the most, well, for one, I seem to have no luck when it comes to resisting hold person. Which paralyzes your character, which has gotten me in trouble a couple of times now. I'm going to take some steps to stop that. I should have done it before, probably, but I'm going to take some steps. It's kind of my first time playing the game, and so the higher you get in the game, it's new to me, and so I don't quite know what to expect, and so there are definitely some changes I would have made to my character had I known the order in which I have done things would have changed. And so I definitely need proficiency in, I believe it's wisdom checks on my fighter, because I'm always getting hold person cast on me. The thing is, though, is that my wizard compatriot, he has a spell that will block that. But he will never cast it because he's afraid they might block his block of their block, and so he's afraid. He won't cast spells if there's a risk, and I don't mean like a risk that he might get hurt, a risk that it might not work out the way he wants it to, and which would have been fine, but he, here we are, 60 bad guys, things are not in our favor, and he tells me to go for the wizards. And so I figure, since I'm the second person on our team to go out of 5 people, that the other 3 people will soon be following behind me. And so I run down and attack the wizards, trying to get enough damage in so that the next person to go can finish off the wizard. Instead, what happens is nobody comes to help me, and I get left. Well, not left, like they didn't leave the building or anything, but I see a passing gas right here. Come on, gun. Okay, I didn't get my gun out, but get down, dog. Alright. And so it didn't go well. My guy got paralyzed next to all of the remaining bad guys at that point. Now the bard and the druid, they did what I considered great jobs. The bard basically killed every guy that we managed to kill in that fight. Um, the wizard made it impossible for them to move around. And yeah, so I mean, they did what I expected. In fact, the druid saved us, hands down, saved us. If it wasn't for him, we would all be either dead or captured. And you know, so they did what they were supposed to do. Now, because we play on D&D Beyond, and I'm the one with the account, I can see everybody's character sheets. And so I was curious, because everybody was saying, oh man, we were like completely out of abilities. And yes, my character, my fighter, he does not have a lot of abilities, but they were all used up. And the druid's abilities all used up. The bard's abilities all used up. The ranger hates to be a ranger, as far as I can tell. Like, all I can figure is he made his character because he wanted a pet companion, and his only goal is to make sure that pet companion never takes damage. And that's it. Because he will go into a fight and decide he wants to not use any weapons and to punch the bad guys. Which would be great if he was a monk, but he's not a monk. And so, instead of doing decent amounts of damage with his actual weapons, he's doing like 3 points of damage. And when the things have got like 150 hit points or more, 3 points of damage not gonna help, buddy. And then he's like, all I can do is shoot my bow. I don't know if I really want to do that. Sorry, that's not helping me out either. And so yeah, he wasn't terrible in the fight, but he definitely could have been a little more proactive, and definitely could combine some things with his dog. His character is currently dead, so we'll see how that plays out tonight. So not having actually questioned the people or looked down their characters, I didn't really pay that much attention to another dog, their abilities and stuff. And oh shoot. Great. Bleeding, 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 bleeding. Okay, now let's stop the bleeding. And so it was interesting to look over what abilities they had, and I was very surprised to learn that our druid slash cleric healer does not have access to any res spells, so they can't bring anybody back to life when they die. That seems like it's going to be a problem. They will eventually, but because of the way they multiclassed, they got nothing. They got nothing to bring people back to life. And so that's going to be a problem for tonight. The bard had a spell to bring people back to life, and used it to bring me back to life during the fight, which I'm very appreciative of. And but he's out of spell slots now because he used up all his spells. And the bard died, the ranger died because he finally entered into combat. But by the time they entered into combat, I was already basically dead. No, I was dead before anybody got within any kind of range of the bad guys. And, it was like 2 turns after I died before anybody even started moving toward the bad guys. And none of them seemed to want to attack, and it was bizarre. Like, this is a combat game, people. Get into the mix. We would have totally won had everybody moved in to attack. I truly believe that. Um, especially the wizard, because this is what's going to be interesting for me is that me and the wizard, we do other things besides playing D&D. The most of the people I play with are in my gaming group, and so we meet every Monday night and now every other Tuesday night to game together, but we only D&D every 2 weeks, and so I don't really chat with them so much outside of the gaming stuff. But the other guy I chat with quite a bit, and so me and him, we had a discussion about about this whole thing because he won't attack unless it's pointless. Uh, like the times he's thrown fireball were times he didn't need to throw fireball. The last time we fought a huge group of orcs, the druid and the bard almost had all those orcs dead, and then he threw a fireball. He didn't throw it first when it could have like wiped them out, and they could have saved their spells to work on the major bad guy that my guy was going toe to toe with. By toe to toe, I mean him and me are hitting each other with our weapons, and so no, he throws other things. Like I'm gonna try and cast sleep and see if that works. And then if sleep lands, he's like, nobody can touch that guy because if you hit that guy, he'll wake up. Or he does hypnotize. Nobody can touch that guy because if you hit him, he'll wake up. Well, we're trying to fight here, man. Can you like use something so that we can still hit them? Like, hypnotize is great if it's not the guys we're trying to kill. Does he try to cast hypnotize when we're fighting 60 people? No, that never crosses his mind. And so, you know what? I don't like this town. It's too. Although I do kind of want to keep my eye out for some more niter. Although I should keep my eye out for more gas, because that's why I'm here, right? Can I see a pass gas? And so, so here we are. We're in this fight. My character's dead. Pretty sure I got knocked unconscious and killed the first turn we came back last session. And I don't even think I was alive. I'm pretty sure I was still dead, and the bard hadn't quite made it down to me to bring me back to life. And this is bizarre. All right, I'm not leaving this story. This is still a story what happened to the wizard during this fight. So we found an orb, and the dude playing the wizard is obsessed with the fact that I have. Oh. That is radioactive land. This town is in radioactive land. I have never seen that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was possible. I've never seen that before. Interesting. Huh. It's like a whole section of the town is just over there in the radioactive area. What is this? What is this? I've never seen this before either. It's like sandbag parking lot. I kind of want to follow the edge of this radioactive territory here. We were just discussing this the other night. I know I've gotten off topic, but we were just discussing this when we were playing on the 7 Days of Die server that I'm currently playing with my gaming group. And they said they'd never seen radioactive territory in the random gen maps. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen it in a while, but I have come across it before. So there you go. I have come across it again, that's for sure. But yeah, so we found this orb, and the wizard is all obsessed with it. He can't get over the fact that I looted this radioactive orb, this red orb. He can't stand it. He hates that I have this orb. I mean, he hasn't told me that, but his actions clearly indicate that he is... I did not know that it backed up better than it goes forward. And I don't mean like turning, I mean like it could climb that hill. And so we found a second orb, and so he snatches up the second orb. He's of the opinion that all magic items belong to him. It doesn't matter what we play. He's of the opinion that all treasure belongs to him first, and then, if he so deigns, he will dole it out to the rest of us, which I find rude. Oh man, my inventory's full. I'm like, where's all my stuff? I guess I want to keep that. I want to keep that. I don't need leather. I don't need headlights. I don't need oil. I don't need... I guess I can turn this into scrap. I'll keep that battery, though. Sorry, hide. Don't need cloth. I definitely want all the nitrate powder. That's the whole reason I stopped here. So, yeah, he gets the other orb, and I won't let him have the one I've got, because he has been demanding that I turn it over to him, because what use does my stupid fighter have for a magic item, is basically his attitude. Don't you think the wizard should have it? Don't you think the wizard is the best one to figure out what... I'm like, no, it's my orb, man. I found it. We already had it tested by like 3 people. Everybody says it's just a dead orb. I mean, it's just pretty, but it doesn't do anything. There's no magic left in it, so I don't know why you need my red marble. So you can't have it. And, in fact, I was just talking the other day, one of my favorite moments in our game was, wizards can do what they call ritual spells. So a spell is marked as a ritual, it means you can cast it. You know, the phone has not rung all day today. But a ritual spell can be cast without having to expend a spell slot. But it adds 10 minutes to the casting. And so he's like, give me 10 minutes, I'm going to cast Identify on it. And so he ritually casts Identify. And so, while he's doing that, I asked this guy we were talking to if he could identify it, and he cast Identify on it. And so then the guy's like, all right, now 10 minutes went by. What do I learn about the orb? And the DM's like, yeah, the same thing the other guy just said. I don't learn anything different? He's like, well, no, because that guy cast Identify on it too. He's like, well, I wish you would have said something. I wouldn't have said my guy was sitting there for 10 minutes. Yeah. So, anyways, so he's obsessed with these orbs. We got another orb. I've decided not to follow that anymore. I'm gonna explore this little town here. And he got a book that says what the orbs do. And so the orbs are keys. And the keys are used to open portals to other places. But they don't necessarily lead to good places. So I know normally it's tuning forks. Apparently our DM is going for orbs. And by orbs, they're tiny, so marbles. They're little. I got a little red marble. He's got a little black marble. They open to different places. And that's a weird looking. there's nothing special in here. And, so, we're in this big fight, right? We have fought one group of people with an orb. Two groups of people, I'm sorry. We fought two groups of people with an orb a long time ago. We have not seen anyone with an orb since. And so we're in this fight. You know, there's not 60 people left at this point because our bard wiped out like 20 people or 30 people, and with AoE spells, which our wizard could have done in like one round had he deigned to use one of his AoE spells instead of throwing around little single target spells. I'm gonna cast Blight, which is a great spell. It's a great spell if you're facing off against one person. But we weren't. And so it was a bad spell because it only affected one person. And so all of a sudden, after my character dies, he runs out so they can see him, says, "I've got one of the orbs," and then teleports away, leaving the rest of the party behind. And he jumps off a cliff, which is like, our DM said, like 800 feet high, and then says he will cast, Featherfall before he hits the ground, and then that way he'll be at the bottom of the cliff where he's safe, and he will, I don't know, just be safe. And so I guess he thought the bad guys were going to follow him, but they didn't, because they didn't know what he was talking about, because the group of slavers we were fighting have nothing to do with the group of cultists who are trying to raise ancient gods. They're not the same thing. There was no clues that they were the same thing. No indicators at any point that they were related. He just figured, as much as he wants the orbs, everybody must want the orbs, I guess. I don't know. And so he left. He left with half of his spells still available. And not just... he used up like all of his 3rd level spells during the fight, but he still had one of his 2 5th level spells, 2 of his 4 4th level spells, 2 of his 2nd level spells, and all of his 1st level spells, which is a lot of spells. He had like 9 or 11 spells left he could cast, and he ran away and left us to die. Oh, so yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. So this week he has, I think, just gotten to the bottom of the cliff. We are on a giant bird, fleeing for our lives, because we're all out of abilities or dead or nearly dead. I've only got 11 hit points left, which is less than one attack by someone. A level 1 goblin could take me out at this point. And, oh, yeah, right, I forgot about the radioactive territory. Yes, I desperately need to equip gas. Alright, well, with that, I am going to call it a day, so click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. Hopefully I won't die tonight, and I will talk to you later.